I am in the sunny, sunshine state of Florida.
Sunshine! Sunshine!
And so blessed to be here. It's February, it's cold at home, we had a pretty harsh cold winter, and now it's sunshine, palm trees, family relaxing time. I've been thinking a lot about pursuing your dreams, but also like living in the moment. And so I thought I would just like set up my camera, do a quick little chatty video. If you're new here, my name is Janine. This is my channel, The Mennonite Mom. We'd love to have you subscribe and stick around. And right now, my family and I are vacationing in Florida. We came down here for something else, but we decided to make a family vacation out of it. One last time before our new baby arrives, which is expected beginning of May, Lord willing. So we're super excited to meet her. If you've been following us for a while, you know how much we love to travel. It's been a passion of mine and it's a passion of Nolan's. And whenever we get the opportunity where circumstances allow, where money allows, we love to travel. We have shared different times like our strategies on how we travel on a budget, because so often we didn't have the money. And if you wanted to travel, you had to really think outside of the box and become creative. And we started learning different travel hacks that was able to get us to different places on a very minimal amount of money. I've made a video about that. I'll link it below if you're interested in watching it. This past year, we've definitely done a good bit of traveling. Actually, maybe the past 2 years, I should say. Nolan's father was ill, eventually passed away, sadly. So Nolan was flying out a lot to help his family. This past Christmas, we went out to Oregon for 2 weeks almost, where Nolan was helping with a project, and we also celebrated Christmas with his family. We ended up staying in an Airbnb, a really, really cool renovated double-decker bus. Also, before all that, we did take what we felt was a much-needed family vacation. After a lot of the things we had went through with my health and with Nolan's dad, we had went to Alaska, and that was super, super fun. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that later. Just jumping in here because I forgot to mention Alaska later in the video. I just wanted to say we were so blessed with our Alaska trip because with a bunch of hard work, we were actually able to get all of our expenses paid for this trip. But let me just say, you can never dream too big, because we were able to go to Alaska for almost no cost out of pocket. Forward a little bit, it's February and we are in Florida, which I was asked to speak at an event, and that's what brought us here. Otherwise, we would not have come to Florida because we were just in Oregon like 2 months ago, and we normally don't take off of work this much to travel. And I will be sharing our Florida trip probably in next week's video, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about balancing dreams and balancing living in the moment, because I'm beginning to realize in my own life, because I love to travel so much. And for me, I'm the type of person that's very much a dreamer. I'm kind of goal oriented in certain areas. I love to like dream of things that could possibly be if I worked hard enough for them. And so, for instance, let's just take travel, for instance. I love to travel, but sometimes it's just kind of out of reach. The price, just everything. Especially in the first however many years of marriage when money was really tight, but yet just the memories and the experiences I think are so much more valuable than money. But if you don't have money, you can't travel, basically, right? And so for me, I'm the type of person that I really wanted to travel, but you don't have a lot of money, so you have to figure out how to travel without money, that type of thing. And so because of that passion and that vision, I've started like learning ways to be able to travel on a budget and we were able to go see some amazing places. And a lot of times people would just stare at us when we told them how much money out of pocket we actually would spend. And so it's like things like that. I tend to be that type of person. I just go and figure it out, try to make something work with what I have. And so I guess you'd classify yourself kind of as a dreamer or a visionary, at least in that aspect of my life. But something that can also be a downfall of that is when you are so goal-oriented, you tend to forget to live in the moment. And then when you get to the moment you've been pursuing, it can almost be a letdown because you've been working so hard for it for so long. And something I've been really trying to work at in my life is trying to live in the moment, because first off, I don't have to travel to have enjoyable experiences with my family, although traveling definitely enhances it. I feel like it just strengthens your family bond because you're kind of away from work. You're away from all the things that just feel like you have to get done. Like when I'm at home, I find it much harder to relax because there's so much things grabbing at my attention to do. But when I go away, it's just like all this rolls off your shoulders and you can just focus on your family and just relaxing, and there's nothing vying for your attention. That's what I think one of the main reasons I love to travel so much is because I feel it really connects me with my family so much more, and it creates memories and lifelong bonds. I've also through the years been trying to learn how do I focus on the moment and focus on the little things every day that make life complete. I know there would have been a time, like I'm kind of more of a person that likes to go and do things, but since I've become a parent, that has really slowed down. So for instance, I loved going to the beach and swimming, but before I kind of had a short attention span. Like I don't like sleeping on the beach, for one. I don't like reading on the beach. It's windy. It's hard to read with the wind blowing and the sun shining. And I was never the type of person that could just sit and relax very well for long periods of time. But since I'm a parent, that has begun to change because you want to relax for one. And also, I am trying to just soak in the little moments. And it's so much easier, I think, to do when you have children because you start to see the world through their eyes. And suddenly going to the beach every day just to play in the sand and watch my son chase seagulls and just see the pure joy on his face as he's like playing in the waves and all the little things that children find joyful. Suddenly I'm like, this is what life is all about. It's not about being entertained and all the things just be constantly going. It's about just the little moments when you stop and you just enjoy those little tiny moments, because everyone on here and everyone I talk to says just enjoy them while they're little, because time just goes so quickly. And I know it does because it just seems like a little bit ago he was a little baby. And before I know it, I'm gonna have a teenager. And so I don't want to live my life constantly dreaming and pursuing the next thing, like, oh, okay, now I need to work really hard to get to here, and then once I'm there, this is going to be really cool, and this and this and this. While that's good, and that's part of my life that definitely kind of keeps me going and keeps a sparkle in my life, or it's kind of a passion of mine to pursue and to dream and to vision. I'm also very much trying to balance that out with enjoying the little moments. And so often it's just the little things. It's just taking time to stop. I know this is so cliche. They say stop and smell the roses. But it's so true. The other day when we went to the park, you just stop and you see the sunshine filtering down through the Spanish moss. And you just watch your family, the people you love the most, are there with you in this beautiful scenery, and you're having a good time and you're talking and it's just those moments. That is what makes life. I think life is this dance. And for me, it's this dance between balancing visions and goals with living in the moment, because so many people's largest regret is they get to the end of their life and they look back and they were realizing that their entire life they were wishing for the next stage, wishing for the next step. And I think it was Jordan Peterson that said, the pursuit of happiness is the worst idea, or whatever, you know, we have the right to pursue happiness here in America, however that all goes. My pregnancy brain, I can't put it all together. Anyway, but the pursuit of happiness, you don't pursue happiness. Happiness comes to you. And it's a lot in your mentality, it's a lot in your mindset and how you view your everyday life. It's not about something you're going to attain in the future. And I know some periods of life it is very difficult when your health is just awful, you feel terribly sick. Maybe you're just completely exhausted with mom life. It just happens. Life is hard, and it's not like you have to just always be happy. But I think it's this fine balance between dreaming of future things, dreaming of things, because dreams and hopes is what makes up the human spirit, and we need a very healthy dose of that, at least I feel in my life. But at the same time, I need to balance it out with just being happy with the stage I'm in. And if it's a difficult stage, just know that it will pass, because I know once this baby comes, I'm going to have some huge adjustments. It's going to be hard. It's going to be fun, but it's just that thing of I'll have to focus on, this is a stage where the baby stage goes so fast, and I will be able to sleep again sometime. When Xander was born, I remember it was about a year till he was sleeping through the nights, and I was thinking, I will never ever sleep in my life ever again, a whole night. But I am. I'm here sleeping through the night. I've been talking for way too long, and I need to go join my husband and son. They're over playing on the park. This was very much of a chatty video. It's all over the place. I don't have concise points, it's just some of the things I've been thinking of. So I guess the challenge that I have for myself and for you all is, are we trying to pursue happiness and thinking that happiness is in the future? Or are we trying to find happiness in our everyday life? We'll see you guys in the next video. I'm gonna go enjoy some more sunshine before I have to go on to other things. Just a few things I wanted to add, as I wasn't as concise in this video since I was just chatting without preparation. The point I'm trying to make is that if we pursue happiness as something in the future, thinking that once we get to a certain stage or achievement, then we will truly find happiness, this will leave us at the end of life realizing we were never present to enjoy the beautiful little moments that make up the happiness of life. And I wanted to highlight the fact that happiness is not something we should try to always have or be. That is unrealistic. You may be going through an extremely difficult time where there seems to be no hope in sight. Life is so difficult, and so many things can make us feel like we may never experience happiness again. That is part of life, the struggle to overcome our hardships. We face feelings of sadness, depression, anxiety, rejection, pain, and the list goes on and on. This is all part of human life, and sadly, some people have it so much worse than others. I also wanted to highlight an important part I skipped, the most important part. There is a huge difference between happiness and joy. Happiness is fleeting, but joy is eternal. The peace and joy of Christ that wraps around us like a blanket is something that keeps us through those hard times. We can be facing the hardest of times, and yet Jesus gives us peace and joy that passes all human understanding. So in conclusion, I was speaking more of normal, if there is such a thing as normal, life circumstances when we get so busy with the everyday cares of life and the frustrations of life, the stress of life, that it is a human tendency to not be content where we are in the present, but look to the future and think that the next phase will be so much better, and before we know it, we have come to the end of life wishing for something better, or looking back at days past and wishing we could return to former days. And we never truly embrace the little joys and happy moments of the present. So the challenge for myself is to have a balance between hoping and dreaming for things in the future, yet being thankful for the blessings of the present and doing my best to live in the moment and look for the happy moments in my everyday life. I want to get to the end of my life and look back knowing I did my best to fully live and not simply exist.